The Chanel Rouge Noir Spring 2026 collection is here. This is a major event in the beauty space. It takes the iconic Chanel shade and reimagines it as an entire collection. It has special limited edition Rouge Noir packaging and supposedly blurs the line between soft and edgy for spring. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. As I said in my intro, this is a major event in beauty. Why is it a major event in beauty? Let me tell you. So Rouge Noir, otherwise known as Vamp in the United States, was a nail polish that was created in 1994. Legend goes that in the fall-winter show in October in Paris, Karl Lagerfeld wanted a nail color for the models that was like the blackest of black cherry, or like dried blood, depending on who you ask. And a couple days before the show, the makeup team was like, yeah, we don't have a color deep enough to make Karl happy. There is a rumor, nobody's ever said if it's true or not, that the makeup team actually colored the model's nails red, used a red nail polish, like a deep red nail polish, and put a black marker over it. Don't know if that's true, but there was a huge reaction and everybody was like, oh, we have to be able to buy that nail polish. Everybody loved it. And so they created Rouge Noir, one way or another, again, known as Vamp in the US. And so this was 1994 fall. And there is some discussion of whether Uma Thurman actually was wearing Rouge Noir in Pulp Fiction or if it was Mac Dubonnet, but either way, people believed it was Rouge Noir. And so the clamor for this shade, for Vamp nail polish in the United States, is the only thing I can talk about because I was here in 1994. And I was in my first year of law school and I wanted that shade. And everyone that I knew that was, interested in fashion wanted that shade. And so I was able to get it. I had a really good relationship with Chanel, my Chanel SA. And then I ended up working for Chanel as a makeup artist while I was in law school. And so I got the nail polish, I wore it to school, and nobody knew what Vamp was. And everyone was like, why are you wearing black nails? There was nobody who was interested in fashion in law school. I should have realized very early on that I was meant to stick with fashion and beauty and not law. But anyway, and that's really the crux of it right there. Before 1994, before Rouge Noir or Vamp, black nails, dark nails were not considered chic or fashionable or high fashion. They weren't luxury for sure. And it was really just the goths and the punk rockers that wore black nail polish. And once Rouge Noir Vamp came out, it led to, the deep blues and the greens and the black nail polishes that we see all the time now. It was not considered part of the luxury culture, at least here in the United States before that. It was a huge deal. Karl and the makeup team, had launched something that nobody else had ever done. And Karl Lagerfeld is quoted as saying that Rouge Noir is the only color that's not boring, but also polite. And I have to say, it is a color that, for whatever reason, does look luxury. It does look great on everyone. You can wear it if you're very, very pale, and you can wear it if you have a much deeper skin tone. Here's the thing about this collection, the Rouge Noir collection. I always think of Rouge Noir as part of fall. Again, it was part of the fall collection when it launched in 1994, but Amy Dramé, who is part of the Cometz Collective, and the Cometz Collective is still in charge of beauty, by the way, going forward for Chanel. At least that's what I'm being told by Chanel. She has decided that this is going to be a reimagined Rouge Noir collection, exploring the hidden pinks and magentas within the deep red, creating a paradoxical spring look that is both edgy and soft. Whether it's both edgy and soft, we will get to. But it is diametrically opposed to the Dior collection that I did the other day, which is all pastels and traditionally spring. This is not. This is not in any way traditional at all. But it is a beautiful collection. Now, I've done some swatches, I've played around with it, which is why I didn't put up a review right away, because I like to play with the collection a little bit, but it is still first impressions. I haven't used this more than, a day or so. So I will have more videos on this collection and the Dior collection as well. The collection consists of an oversized palette, 2 single eyeshadows, a liner in Rouge Noir, a mascara in Rouge Noir. It's the Allure formula. 3 nail polishes, including, of course, Rouge Noir. There is a multi-use glow stick in Cute, which is very pink. I did buy it even though I hate the multi-use sticks because I'm going to try something that I was told about. So we're going to see how that works. And then 4 lipsticks. 3 which are the Rouge Allure Velvets in 357, 367, and 377. And then there is the Rouge Noir lipstick, which is in special packaging. The packaging is that red, that Rouge Noir red, matte on the outside. So in addition to all of the packaging, having this Rouge Noir special packaging, special CCs, you see that on the single shadows. And then the Oversized palette having the deep rouge, which I've gotten fingerprints on. It's highly reflective on the cover. The lipstick that has the Rouge Noir is also going to have that packaging. I did not buy that shade. Here's the thing, guys. If you are somebody who is pale like I am, and here's the other pack, just so you can see all the CCs. They're all this Rouge Noir. They all have that CC. So if you're into like really special packaging, yes, these all have special packaging. If you're pale like I am, the Rouge Noir, you can definitely wear it if that's your thing. Like if you like a very deep lipstick, then yeah, go for it. But it is Rouge Noir. It is that very vampy red-black shade. And on me, it makes me look like I'm ill. I am pale enough as it is by itself. When I put that on, I tried it and I was like, I do not look well. And I just was like, yeah, I can't in good conscience spend that much money for a lipstick tube. I mean, that's not a good use of my funds. However, I did buy 357 and 377, which are irreverent and audacious. 367 is a very pinky magenta. It's like, yeah, it's hot magenta, and it doesn't look good on me either, mostly because of the hair. If I had black hair, it would look good, but with my coloring. But the red hair just throws it. It just doesn't look right. 377 Audacious is a beautiful shade, and you'll see the swatch. It's gorgeous, but it doesn't really go with all the other shades in here except for one, which I will point out later. But that's Audacious, and you can see the swatch. It's a gorgeous shade on me. I absolutely love it. It's very, very close to my hair, actually, on my face. But like I said, it only goes with one shade that's in this entire collection, which you'll see coming up. So I'm gonna put on 357, which is Irreverent. Now, I don't have on any lip liner, and I don't have any like balm or anything on. Sort of, I'll explain. This formula is incredibly soft and actually works really well on my dry lips, which is saying something. When I went into Chanel the other day, I didn't put any makeup on. I had to go to the store. I'm running around. It's terrible weather outside. It's like solid ice. And I looked in the mirror and I was like, my skin is so dry. Like, it was so bad. I was even looking in the mirror like, what in the world? How can you be telling other people what to do with their skincare when you look like this? So I went home last night. I literally, there's a word for it. It's not drenched, but like it's a name that people use when they like basically plaster themselves in moisturizer and then like put, you know, stuff over it so it all seals in. It was, I mean, I looked ridiculous, but the Retrove eye cream all over. And then La Mer, which I know a lot of people don't like, but for me, when my skin gets really, really dry and like fussy, it's the only thing, it's the original La Creme that I bought backup stuff, to be honest with you, before they changed the formula. And I just like smushed it all over my face and sat there for like 3 hours until it started to sink in. It looks so much better today, and I have on the Retrove eye cream again. I put it on again this morning because my eyes were so dry. But in addition to that, my lovely essays at Chanel gave me some of the balm. I've gone back and forth about this balm because it's incredibly expensive. This is the Sublimage balm, but I think I'm at the point now where I'm just gonna buy it. I'm not suggesting you do that because it's incredibly expensive, but my skin looks so much better with this underneath it on today. I cannot tell you, it really does work. So I have had this balm all over my face this morning, including my lips, before I put everything else on. So it doesn't look as bad as it did before. But I say that just to say that I do have that on. Also, I picked up the Touche de Teint in BR22. I have always been BR12 or BR10, I'm sorry, B10. And I was in there and I was just playing around with Chanel makeup because I had 10 minutes to myself and I was like, hey, why not? I haven't been out of the house because of bronchitis, Ellie getting her ACL fixed, and Sean breaking 2 ribs. So I was just like, I have 10 minutes. I'm going to do something nice and play with some makeup. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to try it, you know, because I have the concealer as well, which I'll talk about. And my essay was like, let's try the BR22 on you. And I'm like, oh no, I'm B10 or BR12. And he's like, well, let's just try it. And I was like, oh, that's gonna be too deep. And then I put it on, and this is what I have on today, and it's perfect. It's absolutely great. And I was like, how come I never tried BR22 before? It's because it's new. The shade is new. It came out last year, and I guess I just never paid attention because I've always been B10 or BR12, and I was like, it's gonna be way too deep, but it's not. It's just more peachy. And so it actually is like the perfect shade for me, and I didn't even know it existed. So, all right, so I have the lipstick on. Here is the concealer. This concealer is excellent. I don't know about the Sublimage concealer because I never tried it, but this concealer is, I don't know if it's better than the RMS. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. But it is a ultra comfortable, non-drying, simply easy to use, excellent concealer. I mean, it's really good. It's called the Ultra Wear All Day Comfort Flawless Finish Concealer. And again, it's in BR22. Now, I tried out all the shades, like I did. I tried out B10, BR12, 22, 32, 20, because I was like, you know, now that I realize that I might have been wearing the wrong shade all these years, it's a new shade, so, but I'm exaggerating. I was like, all right, I'm gonna try the different shades. And so what I ended up finding was that if I wanted to brighten my under eye, the BR12 was the right shade. If I wanted to neutralize any blue, green, whatever you want to call it, that I have under my eyes, I liked the BR22, which just matches my skin tone. And I put it on in the store with my very, very dry skin looking terrible, and wore it for the rest of the day. And I was like, oh, that actually looks really good. So it doesn't, I mean, it's the least drying concealer I have used in a very long time. The RMS has been my favorite. So I don't want to say that it's better than the RMS, but I definitely would say on first use, it's as good, and I will have an update as I wear it. Cute. All right. This is the Baume Essential and Blush. You know I hate these products if you've watched me before. By the way, if you haven't watched me before, hi, my name is Jennifer. Here on my channel, we do all things luxury. And if you are not subscribed already, why are you not subscribed already? It costs you absolutely nothing. It makes it possible for me to continue doing videos like this one here. So go down and hit that subscribe button and notification button so you don't miss anything here on the channel. All right, so this is cute. A sheer pearlescent mauve pink highlighting balm. Supposedly it adds a wet look radiance that softens the deeper eye colors. Let me tell you, I have used these products for years and they never work for me. So whatever you have on first, this is gonna lift it. This product lifts what's ever underneath, which drives me nuts. So I was talking to the essay, a couple of the essays, and one of them suggested trying it with a sponge. So I'm gonna try it. We're gonna see what happens if I try it with a sponge. I'm gonna put it directly on the sponge. Oh, that does work better. Okay, interesting. Oh, see, you can always learn something new, guys. Now, what this does is give like a wet look to your skin. You can see it when I go like this. I am in natural light. It looks like an ice storm outside, so I don't know how great the light is, but it is natural. It is coming through a window. Yeah, it is this very wet. It is actually quite pretty. However, this balm is so balmy that for me, it never dries down if you put it on like this, or even if I use my fingers, like it just doesn't dry. It just stays balmy. So let's see what happens when I put it on with this sponge. I will also say when you put it on the sponge gets like kind of pink. It doesn't look nearly this pink on the back of my hand, which I find interesting. It doesn't give a lot of color. I mean, I'm not going to say that it gives a lot of color because it doesn't, but it does give a wet look. We'll see if it actually dries down. So if you really like pink, if you really like this pink, and maybe you have even drier skin than I do, and yours dries down, mine does not, no matter what I do. I've tried over the years. Because I like I mean, it's a nice look, but it just never dries. And it picks up whatever's underneath, which is annoying because if you put down foundation, you don't want to go over it and then have, you know, it's disappearing. Okay, so the Confidence palette. This is the most pigmented palette of pinks I have seen in quite some time. You have an electric magenta, there is a mauve pink blush, there's a rosy white highlighter, and then there is a sienna red right here with pink shimmer. This shade is the only one that matches the 377 lipstick. The rest of the shades in here are pink, except for this one, which is this, as you can see by the swatch, and as it's described, a sienna red. So again, I'm assuming Amy Germain is picking up all of the different pieces of Rouge Noir, and that's a piece of it. If you like pink, I mean, this is the story for you. This is the one. It is very pigmented. The formula is extremely smooth and really nice. Here's the sienna red that I'm talking about. And I'll put the lipstick with it so you guys can see what I'm talking about. See, it's the only color that goes with it. And again, you don't have to be matchy-matchy. Like you can wear a sienna lipstick with pink eyeshadow. It's not that you can't. It's just when I try to do that with pinks, I have some issues because of the red hair. Like it clashes. Okay, that's the thing. Most people do not have red hair, so you don't have to really worry about that. But if you do, this is something that you have to consider. Here's the one that I would say is a highlighter. I don't really know who this would be blush on. I guess you'd have to be even paler than me. This to me is a beautiful blush. This is a beautiful blush. This is a beautiful blush. I personally would wear these three shades on my eyes. This shade I would not wear on my eyes, just because for me, again, with the red hair, I don't think that would be a great look. But, you know, that's personal opinion. That's up to you guys about what you like and what you don't. So there are also two single shades, Brune Rose and there's Gris Rose. Now you'll see the shades swatched, and I'll swatch them again here for you guys. They are very interesting. The Gris Rose is a duochrome. It's a metallic gray with pink in it. And then the Brune Rose is a satiny, soft, mauve-y brown. I will compare it to the Brune Talpa so you can see that. Here is the gray. This might be one of my favorite shades ever. It's beautiful. Not particularly deep, but it's beautiful. And then there is the Brune Rose. Here is Brune Talpa. Should have worn short sleeves. That's Brune Talpa. And here's the new shade. Brune Rose. Very different. Definitely more rose, more pink. And then the other shades I thought might would be Crevere Rose, which is an old one. Yeah, similar, but more sparkly. So here's Brune Talpa, here's Brune Rose, here is Crevere Rose, which has more sparkle to it. And then again, here is Gris Rose, and then Brune Rose again. Here's the quad. For today's look, I am going to use the quad mostly on my face and not on my eyes. But again, this is just the first video. We'll have more. I'm going to take the very deep purpley magenta shade. This is a Wayne Goss brush. This is a brush that I often use for highlight, but I'm going to use this because this is a very soft and this is a very pink. It's a very deep magenta shade. And what I'm using it for almost is like contour, because it's so deep that on me, this is going to show up, I think, a little too magenta for me. But it's going to look great on somebody with a little bit of a deeper skin tone. You can see how, like, it's, yeah, it's a deep shade. It's a gorgeous shade. It's just, I don't do super deep blush. Then we're going to take the mauve pink, I think it's the best way to describe it, and use that as the primary blush. It's a beautiful shade. Look at how pigmented it is too. I'm gonna put a little bit. Now, the reddish sienna. What I'm gonna do with this, because it's deep, I'm gonna kind of tap it here first. I'm gonna kind of use it like I got a little bit burnt, which, you know, is hilarious because, first of all, I don't think there's any sun outside. I mean, yeah, there is, but like, always wear your SPF, but there's no sun. This is the weird, like, honestly, the weather is, I walked outside this morning with Ellie and she went all 4 paws. It's completely ice. Like, it's not even, it's just ice. So I'm gonna blend this to make it look like, almost like a bronzer, because that's the color it kind of is. You know, it's this burnt sienna, which is kind of a bronzer on me. It's a beautiful palette and it's really nice. It's very pigmented. Now I'm gonna take the same Wayne Goss brush, make sure I get all the pink off of it, magenta off of it, and I'm gonna use it for the highlighter. This is a beautiful pinky, this is a beautiful rosy white highlighter. If you're somebody like me who loves that kind of icy, pinky highlighter, you're gonna love this one. It is beautiful. And it's actually working well over Cute, the balm. I have to say, like, it's still a little tacky, but much better with the sponge than using my fingers. I mean, hats off to essays at Chanel. I mean, it's still tacky, but it's definitely better, like a million times better. So that is the Oversized palette. I will say, hands down, this is my favorite Oversized palette that they've done. All of the other ones I've actually decluttered because they had reds and shades that I wouldn't use. This is a beautiful, for me, face palette. I probably won't use these on my eyes, but again, that's fine. I can use them as blush. So I'm gonna use the single shadows as eyeshadows. First, we will use Maroon Rose as my contour, if you will. I really love the shade. It's satiny, I mean, it's just stunning. I've been very impressed with Chanel's single shades that they've done, even when I haven't particularly liked a collection, or, you know, like the shades aren't particularly my shades. I have predominantly liked the single shades that they do. It's interesting to me. Like, I don't really understand why they're different than when they do the quads. In this case, the Oversized quad is as good as the singles. But in the past, I have seen them do, you know, quads that I don't particularly like, but the singles are amazing. So I'm like, why can't you do that? Whatever. So this is me just picking on Chanel, which isn't very nice because they did a good job. They did a good job with this collection. So this shade, this gray shade that is a duochrome metallic gray, is special. Now, they're both beautiful, but I would say this one is one you're gonna wanna get. If you're somebody who likes a cool, you know, like this kind of shade, I will probably buy another one of these because it is a special shade. Chanel doesn't often do duochromes, although they do them more than they used to, but I love the shade. Like it love it. If I was doing this look just for myself, I'm going to take the maroon and just line the lower lash line. I would take a brown or a black and do this and line my eyes with it. However, they have the Rouge Noir liner, which I did pick up, and I'm scared. Now, this one I have not used on my eyes yet. I have used it on my hands. Here's the thing about this color. The Rouge Noir, right? The whole point of Rouge Noir is it's red black. So there's red, which is what, you know, Germain pulled out of all these, some of the reds. And red does not look good around my eyes. It makes me look, again, ill. So we're gonna see how red this goes on me. There is a Rouge Noir, Rouge Allure Lac. So those who want the iconic color, but with the high shine long wear liquid finish. So this is in the same as the Rouge Noir 387, which is the one I mentioned earlier, which is the color matched matte case and all of that good stuff. So you can, you know, you can have the shiny one if you like it. There are 3 nail polishes. There's 397 Rouge Noir, which is the classic vamp. Now in the monogram bottle, you have the 387, which is Performer, which is a electrifying magenta. There's also a silver color, gold, gray color that kind of matches the single shadow, and I will mention that one below. I did not pick up the Rouge Noir Noir Allure mascara. Why? Because every single time I pick up an Allure mascara, I hate it. They always do these colorful mascaras, part of the collections in the Allure. They never do it in the traditional Chanel mascara, which I actually like very much, but the Noir Allure always flakes on me. I don't know why, but it does. So I did not pick it up. But what I did do today is a more spiky mascara look, which I feel like fits somehow. I don't know why this entire look. I'm not sure why it does, but just to me it does. And so what I would say is the liner actually is more purple than it is red, which thank goodness, because I just don't think I could take that. I don't think I could go around with like red eyes today. When they created this line, they obviously, and I have to give hats off to Amy Germain, who really was the architect of this particular collection. There is a red underlying this purple when you smush it out. You can, when you diffuse this out, you can see that red in there, but it is more purple than it is red. And that works extremely well on the eyes. If you used, there was a shade a couple of years ago, I can't remember the name of it, that it was like a Rouge Noir, but it had more of a red to it. And honestly, I feel like that one was too red in the liner. This is actually quite nice. I think it works extremely well. And it's a purple that I would definitely wear. It is less Rouge Noir and more noir purple. I don't know what purple is in French. So what would I say of the collection overall? I think this is a beautiful collection. I actually think that the shadows, the single shadows, are some of my favorite that Chanel's ever done. I think the Oversized palette is absolutely beautiful. I think the lipsticks are great shades and, love it. I love Rouge Noir as a nail polish. The new concealer is amazing and absolutely worth taking a look at. The Cute is still, in my opinion, not a product that I would buy, but if it's a product that you like, this shade is a very icy highlighting pink. I mean, it's, you can see it. You saw it when I put it on before I put other things on. It's still a little tacky on my skin, but much better. It doesn't pick up as much when you put it on with a sponge. So overall, yeah, I give this an absolute love. However, is this edgy and soft for spring? I think it can be. So what I would say is the way that I did this look is a little bit more edgy. I definitely can do a look that's softer, and I will do that for all of you guys so that it looks more spring-like. But what I would say, and I always say this about makeup and fashion is that there are no real rules. You should wear what you like when you like. If this is your version of spring, then this is your version of spring. I have friends who definitely have more of that goth aesthetic, and I don't think I've ever seen them wear a pastel ever. So, you know, it just depends on what you like. The eyeshadows are really more lavender and gray than anything else. So yeah, I think they lend themselves to spring. I don't think they are Rouge Noir. They are elements maybe, but you know, the Oversized palette, yes, it is. It does have the magenta in there. It does have some deep pigments, but it is very much spring. Pinks and magentas and bright colors, that's very much spring. And the Rouge Noir liner is more purple than it is red, which I think is fantastic. Again, if you're interested in picking up the Rouge Noir lip, the nail polish, I have the nail polish, and those types of shades, I strongly encourage you to pick them up. They are beautiful. Rouge Noir is a great shade. It's, you know, iconic, but if you're going to use it on your lips and you're very pale, I would suggest trying it out with your fingers first, just blotting it on and see how it looks, because you're literally going to have a look like this on your lips, and it's very, very deep. I think it can look amazing if that's your thing, but it's not something that I'm going to wear. Like, it's just, it's too much of a contrast for me. So just be aware of that if you purchased online. Like, if you're going to the store, you can try it out. But if you're purchasing online, just be aware of how deep the Rouge Noir lipstick and nail polish is. That's it for today, guys. I cannot wait to hear what you think of the collection, whether you're picking it up, and whether or not you think it's both soft and edgy for spring. I hope to see you in another video really soon. Bye.